This is a recording of the first lecture, the first half of the section 4.2 section that's all about experiments. Um, we're going to go through the definition of an experiment. We'll look at some reasons why we do experiments. We'll talk about good experimental design. But first of all, we need to make a distinction between observational studies as compared to experiments. In an observational study, we observe individuals and measure variables of interest, but we do not attempt to influence the responses. We watch. An experiment, by contrast, imposes some treatment. Something is done to the experimental units, the subjects, and then we measure the response to that treatment. Um, when our goal is cause and effect, experiments are the only source of fully convincing data. Okay. So we say that unless you've done an experiment, and a well-designed experiment at that, um, we don't think you can establish causality. This caused that. This happened because of that. So watch out for that wording and watch and look to see whether the results are coming from an observational study and experiment. Observational studies are problematic because of two really big issues. One is that there could be lurking variables. A lurking variable is a variable that's not among the explanatory or the response variables in the study, but may influence the response variable. We say a situation is confounding when we have multiple variables that interact in such a way that we can't tease them apart. We can't tell their effects um, uh, we can't tell one effect from the other. So watch out, know that we are going to try to control for these effects by doing well-designed experiments. Let's do a quick check for understanding. Does reducing screen brightness increase the battery life on laptop computers? To find out, researchers obtained 30 new laptops of the same brand. They chose 15 computers at random and adjusted their screens to the brightest settings. The other 15 laptop screens were left at the default setting, which was moderate brightness. Researchers then measured how long each battery lasted. Was this an observational study or was it an experiment? Well, first of all, we're going to acknowledge that the brightness of the laptops were changed. We did something. Therefore, a treatment was imposed. Therefore, this is an experiment. Okay. Note that when in my answer, I said what was going on to the units, I imposed context into my answer. So make sure that you remember that that's an important attribute of a lot of the answers that we should be giving to the College Board. Questions 2 through 4 refer to the following settings. Does eating dinner with families improve students' academic performance? According to an ABC News article, teenagers who eat with their families at least 5 times a week are more likely to get better grades in school. This finding was based on a sample survey conducted by researchers at Columbia University. Was this an observational study or an experiment? Well, I see no treatment imposed. Um, the teenagers were not forced to eat with their families. So this is an this is an observational study. Okay. What were the explanatory and response variables? Well, they were believing that the explanatory variable was eating with families. And what was the response that they were thinking they were measuring? And that is better academic performance. Or I should just say academic performance. Because if they didn't eat with the families, I think they measured worse academic performance. All right. Explain clearly why a study cannot establish a cause and effect relationship. Suggests a lurking variable that may be confounding with whether families eat together or not. Well, let me lay out this scenario. First of all, we're going to state clearly, because this is an observational study, cause and effect cannot be established. Okay, first and foremost. Now let's talk about why that is in this particular instance. Okay, let's think about the kind of kids that might be eating dinner with their families. Okay. Um, a lurking variable, for example, may exist. A lurking variable, such as family wealth. May explain the difference. Okay. Now, what do I mean by that? Um, Families with more wealth may not need to have the teenagers working. Making them more available for eating with the family. And because they're not working, and giving them more time to study. So family wealth may explain why they're eating more with the family, and it may explain their better academic performance. The observational study doesn't control for that, so we don't know whether there's a cause-effect relationship. Could eating with the family help? Could, but we don't know based on this study. Now, let's get into some of the vocabulary associated with designing good experiments. An experiment, as we said, has to involve a treatment, okay? And that treatment is applied to people or animals or subject or objects. We call them experimental units. By the way, if the experimental unit happens to be a human, we call them subjects. And we go and we try to observe a response. Um, uh, the explanatory variables may be called factors. For example, if I force a kid to eat dinner with their family, um, some of the people in the experiment may be forced not to eat with their family. Those are two different factors. Also, the factors may be set up in different levels. Some families have forced the teenagers to eat with their families twice a week, some 4 times a week, sometimes 7 days a week. That'd be different levels of the same factor. Let's take a look at an experiment that has been done. Researchers at the University of North Carolina were concerned about increasing dropout rates in the state's high school, especially for low-income students. Surveys of recent dropouts revealed that many of these students had started to lose interest during middle school. They said they saw little connection between what they were studying in school and their future plans. To change this perception, researchers developed a program called Career Start. The big idea of the program is that teachers show students how topics they learn get used in specific careers. To test the effectiveness of Career Start, researchers recruited 14 middle schools in Forsyth County to participate in the experiment. 7 of the schools chosen at random used Career Start along with the district standard curriculum. The other 7 schools just followed the standard curriculum. Researchers followed both groups of students for several years, collecting data on students' attendance, behavior, standardized test scores, level of engagement in school, and whether the students graduated from high school. Results? Students at schools that used Career Start generally had better attendance, fewer discipline problems, earned higher test scores, reported greater engagement in classes, and were more likely to graduate. Problem: identify the experimental units, explanatory response variables, and treatments in the Career Start experiment. So first of all, the experimental units in this case, um, I believe to be the middle schools, in particularly in Forsyth County. Now, you may be thinking, well, no, the experimental units are really the kids. Well, but we measured how the schools did better. Students at schools, okay? So we were really saying, did the school have better attendance? Did the school have fewer discipline problems? So I think experimental units are the schools. Um, what are the explanatory variables that we're thinking about here? I think there's only one explanatory variable, and that is the Career Start curriculum. And what are the response variables? Okay, and those are listed here. Attendance, discipline or discipline problems, uh, test scores, engagement, um, and graduation rates. Okay, what were the treatments? Well, the treatments in this case was the Career Start curriculum plus standard curriculum. There's one treatment group. The other one was just the standard curriculum alone. So we had 2 treatment groups. All right. Here we go. Here's another example. What are the effects of repeated exposure to an advertising message? The answer may depend on both the length of the ad and how often it's repeated. An experiment investigated this question using undergraduate students as subjects. All subjects viewed a 40-minute television program that included ads for a digital camera. Some subjects saw a 30-second commercial, others saw a 90-second version. The same commercial was shown either one, three, or five times during the program. After viewing, all the subjects answered questions about their recall of the ad, their attitude toward the camera, and their intention to purchase it. For this advertising study, identify the explanatory variable, and in this case, the explanatory variable was the ads themselves, and the response variable, or response variables in this case, are all these things that were mentioned. Recall of the ad, attitude toward the camera, and intention to purchase. Okay, list the treatments. Well, here are all of the treatments. All six of them are in those boxes. Did they watch it one time with a 30-second ad? Did they watch it five times with 30-second ads? By the way, the split between 30 seconds and 90 seconds, that's a level for that particular. Um, okay, by the way, ads, I should say, explanatory are the ads length and repetition. Both of those are treatments in this case. Repetition. Repetition. All right, so these are levels, and these are also considered levels. So we had two treatments, sorry, six different treatments based on two factors, and each of these factors had multiple levels. All right, moving on. How to experiment badly. So we know that experiments are the way we're going to try to get at cause and effect relationships, but not all experiments. It's not just the imposition of a treatment that makes an experiment good enough to establish causality. Let's take this example. A high school regularly offers a review course to prepare students for the SAT. This year, budget cuts will allow the school to only offer an online version of the course. Over the past year, the average SAT score of the students was 1620. The online group, they had an average score of 1780. That's roughly 10% higher of the long-term average for those who took the classroom review course. So is the online course therefore more effective? Well, the design of this experiment is simple. Okay, students had the treatment imposed upon them, and then we looked at the SAT scores. But a closer look showed that the students in the online review course were quite different from those who took the course in previous years. They had higher GPAs and they took more AP classes. So this situation is confounded. Was the increase because of the online course? Was it because they were smarter to begin with? The class interacted well with the AP situation? We don't know which thing is causing the effect. So while this is an experimental design, it's not a good experimental design because we didn't control for these lurking variables and for this confounding. So we want to design a good experiment so that we can control for confounding and lurking variables.